It's time for another plan with me, and for October I am drawing on autumn, obviously, as we're heading into autumn. I really wanted to bring this color scheme into my journal this month because I really do like the warm colors of autumn, so I really wanted to bring those in. So I decided to go for like brown, red, purple, and orange theme. I think these colors work really well together. It did take me a while to get to those colors specifically, but those are the ones I chose. And for this month, I really wanted to do something cute and pretty in my journal. I didn't really want to go the full Halloween scary route, which if you want to do that, good for you. It's your journal, you do you. But for me, I really wanted something fun and kind of cute and a little bit feminine and pretty. So I decided to just do very, very simple floral illustrations throughout the theme, and it's literally just these very, very simple 4 or 5 petal flowers that are very sketchy, like kind of half colored in, and just brown and orange leaves as I go through. And that's really the most of the theme, to be honest. And then the main part of the theme is going to be these little foxes that run through. So I gave this little fox little flowers in her hair, and I'm just doing an outline in a 0.05 fine liner. And then I don't really have a lot of the colored brush pens for the fox, so I decided to actually use colored pencils, and I thought it was a lovely change between the pens and the felt tip pens for the flowers, and then just a softer view for the fox. So I just laid down a very kind of yellowy brown underlayer and went over with like a purpley red, and I really thought that was a great color for the fox. The legs look a bit weird, but hey. And then I thought it was a bit plain, so I thought I'd do a circle behind her, but it came out very light. And then my new addition for this month are my stamps, my letter stamps, which are super cool, and I see myself using them a lot in the future. And that covers up our first page. I think she is very cute, and I love the stamps and the way it looks, and I'm going to use them throughout the rest of the spread. They're just so stunning. So on this page, it's just going to be my habits and my goal tracker, which I'll go through as we set those up, but basically just some flowers in the corner here with a sleeping fox. So foxes are very new to me, in the sense it might sound strange to a few of you, but where I'm from, South Africa, we don't have foxes really. And the first time we heard foxes after moving to Dublin, it was the scariest thing ever. I thought somebody was dying. It was very scary. But we soon learned that those screaming noises outside were actually foxes. And it's quite cool because I think there's a den quite close, or there's lots of foxes around, so they often will run along the garden wall, and we'll watch them from our little lounge area, which is super cool. It's cool for me anyway. I know some people see them as pests, but I don't know. For me, they're still really cool. The dog, our little dog Monty, does not like the foxes at all, and will often run outside and just start barking for no reason, and we realize, oh, okay, there was a fox around. So that's quite fun. So yeah, I'm not a person who has grown up with foxes, so I think they're super cool. And I wanted to do this theme because literally a year ago today, actually, we were walking actually by the church just down the road in the middle of this town, and there was a fox in front of the church, and we were able to get quite close to it. I think it was hurt, and some people were taking care of it and feeding it and stuff, but we were able to get quite close to it. And I have a really cool picture of my husband taking a photo of the fox, which I might insert over here just so that you can see. And for me, it was just the coolest thing. So yeah, that's what I know and my experience with foxes. So back to my setup here. On the right hand side there, you see I've set up 3 columns, and that's going to be for my goals. So I'm going to set 3 distinct goals, and each week I'm going to have a sub goal, and I will reach it. I've been struggling a bit with my habits and my goals, and I set them and just don't follow through. So I feel if I break it down into realistic chunks, I'll be able to reach them. So watch the space. I'll let you know if that works out for me. And then on my habits, same thing. I promise this this month is the month of working out. I say that every month, probably not going to happen. But that's the plan anyway. I'm hoping to set a couple of habits, and hopefully through my goals, I'll be able to start to achieve those. So there's some that I'm really good at, but some that I'm really terrible at. I guess that's life, right? So as we move on to the next page, I'm going to be setting up my meal plan, and I decided to include an extra spread this month, which is recipes. So we are going to try and just look a little bit better at our eating habits, which is part of the habits section of things, but part of that is meal planning. And then I thought it might be quite nice as I'm scrolling through things or as I see things to just put a little recipe log almost of things that I want to try or recipes that could be useful. I don't know if you're the same, but whenever it comes to meal planning and even planning for the week, I know we're planning meals for the week, but I still find that so difficult. Like, what 5 meals do I need to plan for this week? And just I'll end up going back to the same things over and over. So I'm hoping that this will help with that. So the top of this page is just going to be a floral little homage. There are no foxes in this one, and it's very plain at the moment, and I do go back and add a few more flowers because I just thought it looked a bit weird. But in the meantime, I'm going to add my table for recipes. I'm just going to say what the recipe is, where I saw it, and then if I have any comments on it. So for the future, if it's really crappy, then we won't try it again, but if it really worked, or things like that. And then I'm just tracing out 5 boxes for the meal planning for the 5 weeks of the month. I know it's not quite 5 weeks because it kind of starts midway through a week, but it's 5 weeks. I'm going to do 5 boxes for 5 weeks, and that's what we're doing. It'll work. You'll see. It'll be fine. And then I'm just going in with those same pens, with those same colors, and just adding some more sketchy flowers and leaves, and just putting them in weird little groupings, almost like it's a little foresty, meadowy, not a forest has trees, a meadow. And I don't know, it just looks really pretty. I like it. And have I mentioned how much I really like these stamps? They're really cool. If you don't have stamps, letter stamps, I highly recommend you get some. These ones were so cheap. I got them from the local craft store down the road. I think they were €1.20 or something like that. And they are so cool, and they make everything so much easier to do. Lettering is not my strong suit, so I highly recommend you have a look at those if you can. So moving on, now we're going to do a calendar, month at a glance, or whatever you decide to call it. Sticking with the theme, we're just going to do a slightly different view of a fox sitting here looking over her shoulder. I'm not too happy with the way this one turns out. I know it is a little doodle, but I don't know. I feel like I could have done better, but hey, that's fine. You can see it's a fox. And the flowers look really cool with those same leaves. And then I'm just going to go in and do the headline there with my stamps. Really like the stamps. Okay, I'll stop plugging the stamps now. Okay, and then I like to have a nice big calendar where I can write in all the different pieces of things that go on. I use my bullet journal quite heavily for my work, which is very project orientated, and there are lots of deadlines daily and different projects, different things on different days, and I really need a lot of space for planning so that I don't forget anything, and that's why I need a really big calendar. I don't like the list view because I like to have things in chronological order, and I don't like writing things underneath each other. So this for me works best, and this is the way I use my journal. So you use what works well for you, and I guess that's beauty of bullet journaling, isn't it? We can set up our journals to work for us, to be used the way that we like using them, and if you keep defaulting to the same thing, it doesn't matter. It's because it's working for you, so don't worry about that at all. So as I start to set up for the week, I wanted to set up a little quote page just because we've only got 3 days essentially that for this month at the beginning of the week, so I just wanted to have a little quote page to introduce that. And I love this quote: "You are the greatest project you will ever work on." And it's true. So give yourself the time, give yourself the space, give yourself the time to work on your goals and habits. I need to practice what I preach, but I'm giving myself the time to work on my goals and habits this month. It will work out. I'm going to do it. I am determined. I hope. We'll see. So yeah, I'm just setting up for the week here. I'm going to put a little calendar highlighting where we are. You saw me flip it back to my grid planning page there because I'm just splitting up the page into 3, and having that grid planning page is such a lifesaver. I don't have to count out the blocks every time. It's just really such a lifesaver. And then I'm just going in. I was initially just going to put the first 2 letters of the days and then decided no, I didn't like that. So I put the first 3 letters of the days. And my next thing I need to actually look at is number stamps. I'm going to become a stampaholic, I can tell you. Anyway, number stamps is going to be my next purchase. To finish off this page, I'm just going to add some of those flowers to the middle. Just very simple. It's such an easy setup. They come together so quickly, and just pulling together whatever colors you choose, whatever tickles your fancy, it really can be so beautiful. Just pick 4 or 5 colors. I found it much easier to do these, to be honest, with the brush pens that I've got. I've got 2 brush pens from Faber Castell, and the rest I just used normal felt tip pens, which worked out fine, but I didn't like using them too much. The one thing I will say is, depending on the bullet journal and the paper you've got in your journal, I would avoid using filter pens. At the beginning of the year in my other journal, I used the filter pens and they bled through so terribly, where the brush pens from Faber Castell don't bleed through at all. So that would be something that I would just consider when setting things up. And that takes us to the end of this last setup page. I think it's really pretty and I'm looking forward to using it. And as we do a final flip through all the pages, I'm looking forward to getting stuck into my goals. I hope this new setup works for me, and breaking them up will be better in terms of achieving the overarching goal. Hopefully from a recipe perspective, I'm more inspired. And I thank you so much for tuning in, for your support. Please consider subscribing. It really goes a long way in helping me out, so please consider subscribing, comment on the video, what was your favorite part, what do you like about boxes, and I look forward to seeing you next month. Cheers!